Hello and welcome to the Album Man, and today I'm going to be kicking off Bat Out of Hell week. So what better way, and the only way really to kick it off, is by reviewing, well, Bat Out of Hell. I mean, the first in the trilogy. And this album, it's often lauded as one of the greatest rock albums ever made. Though, considering the praise it gets now, it's quite funny to think about, well, how roughly it started. Meat Loaf, the singer, and Jim Steinman, the writer of this album, set out in 1975 to try and find a label to produce this album, which was loosely based on Steinman's musical Neverlander sci-fi update of Peter Pan. And they suffered rejection after rejection, and it seemed no one could really take the musical project seriously, with one producer even questioning Steinman's ability to write a rock song. There then came along Todd Rundgren, who seemed to find the album hilarious and like a parody of Springsteen, and decided he'd produce it. Now, I find it a little weird why people always compare this album to Springsteen, especially Born to Run. I can definitely see similarities, but really I think they are two different beasts. However, Max Weinberg and Roy Bittan from the E Street Band did appear on this album, and possibly Steven Van Zandt. Not too sure about that though. Okay, so let's just get on with the album, to be honest. So, Bat Out of Hell is the title track to this monumental album, and it starts with this epic 2-minute instrumental featuring wailing guitar harmonies and some of the most amazing piano by Roy Bittan that drives the song along. And these wailing guitars from Todd combined with the piano really create an intense atmosphere that sets the tone of the song and the album with the most grandeur I think I've ever heard. The lyrics then come in and paint the scene of knives, evil and death, before suddenly switching to, well, talking about a pure gal. And of course, before then building the stunning, iconic chorus that I really think everybody knows. Who doesn't know the chorus to Bat Out of Hell? I mean, it's Bat Out of Hell. And the guitar then starts playing some heavy overdriven chords as the motorcycle themes come into focus, which is probably the main theme of the song. And Meat himself delivers such a powerful vocal performance on this song. It's surely one of the greatest of rock music. And something I only learnt recently is that the motorcycle sound before the guitar solo was actually created by a guitar in the studio by Todd Rundgren, who plays all the lead guitar and guitar on this album. So I think that's pretty cool. I mean, it's a pretty damn convincing motorcycle sound. I honestly thought it was the sound of an actual motorbike. Anyway, at this point the song's lyrics tell how the rider is going faster and faster, so it's quite obvious what happens as you hear, well, the drums and loud guitar as they show that a crash has happened. And it's a bloody bad crash, as Steinman describes it, quoting, "I don't think there's ever been a more violent crash. The guy basically has his body opened up and his heart explodes like a bat out of hell." So yeah, that's the picture you're meant to imagine after the crash, a pretty damn brutal picture. And then of course the song ends with the epic chorus, and really, you know, I've no doubt it is one of rock's finest moments, and this song is one of the greatest in rocks, with one of the most wonderful performances instrument-wise and vocally. I mean, it's just, you know, cold classic. Then we get to You Took the Words Right Out of My Mouth, and this has a spoken word performance intro by Steinman and Marcia McLean, and which is pretty cool, about a hot summer's night. Yeah, that's the sort of the full name of the song is You Took the Words Right Out of My Mouth, brackets, Hot Summer's Night, I think. And very weird intro, very cool though. I've always loved the little spoken word intro for this song. I've always thought it fitted so well, it was just so unique really. And then the song carries on in that signature theatrical sound that Steinman always seems to write with his songs. And why this song wasn't much of a hit when released as a single really does baffle me, with the female backing vocalist underpinning Meat perfectly as he delivers a performance in such a theatrical way. This and the rest of the album really is the definition of a rock opera, simply from Steinman's unique way of writing lavish yet immensely catchy and poppy rock songs. It's another exceptionally strong example, and towards the end it really does showcase a definite Springsteen vibe, I would say, as one of the songs particularly influenced by him. Heaven Can Wait comes next, and this is a beautiful piano-driven ballad that highlights in particular Meat's stunning voice as he sings so enchantingly over the lovely piano melody. It also showcases the way in which Steinman can write. This song is as captivating as anything else on the album, but yet for Steinman it's relatively simplistic, only really having a choir effect overdubs on Meat and the piano. Still, it comes across as really effective, and yeah, it's just a really powerful ballad. All Revved Up with No Place to Go, and this starts with some fantastic, brilliant saxophone from Edgar Winter that really drives the song, especially in the chorus, and turns the tempo up a lot from the previous song. I always get a little bit of a sort of Elton John Crocodile Rock vibe from this. Don't know if I'm the only person, but I don't know. Towards like the middle, it always reminds me a little bit of that song. Anyway, everything is expertly played, climaxing in the immense chorus, all revved up and no place to go. Though my favourite part is the sax solo. I love the sax on this to death. I mean, the entire song, again, just another classic with changes of tempo and rhythms from fast to slow and back again. It goes all over the place, and it's just a really exciting, captivating song to listen to. 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad, another of the most famous songs from this album, has a rather gentle intro, and like Heaven Can Wait is a softer track, on this album it tends to in general go sort of a faster, more opera track, and then a softer, more stripped back track. And I like that sort of formula, it works. Again, this showcases how Steinman's songwriting and Meat's voice is such a potent combination, as this song keeps you entranced, glued to the spot as you anticipate every note and every time that he sings 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad, which is actually sparse the amount of times he sings it, but yet still works perfectly. It may just be a simple love ballad, but damn, it's an impressive feat. Paradise by the Dashboard Light, though, I'm going to make a grand statement and say, in my opinion, this is the best song on the album. Because, well, it's such a progressive song, not in sort of progressive rock where, I'm not saying this is, exactly like Genesis or Yes, but progressive in the way that it builds and falls, twists and turns, screams and shouts. It has multiple choruses, each as catchy as the next. Well, not quite choruses, but certainly parts that refrain. In fact, every lyric on this really just makes you want to sing along. And it starts out this almost 50s rock and roll vibe to it, especially from the unbelievable keys combined with the wonderful phrasing of lyrics from Steinman, and the sublime voice of Ellen Foley, who Meat has a duet with in this stunning epic song, really. And this first part of this, which we've been talking about, is called Paradise, and this ends with the theme of a girl and boy in a car about to go all the way tonight, which is narrated by Phil Rizzuto, some baseball narrator from the Yankees or something. I don't know much about baseball. And really, it sums up his sort of play-by-play of what's happening on a baseball pitch. It really sums up the atmosphere between the boy and the girl, with, of course, not directly meaning to. It's baseball commentary after all. And then, under his voice, as the guitars and drums get more frantic, Ellen comes in screaming, "Stop right there." And part 2, Let Me Sleep on It, my favourite part, kicks in. And I just love the conversational style of the lyrics between the boy and the girl. The girl wanting him to promise to marry her before going all the way, and the boy instead being reluctant and wanting to instead sleep on it. I think the way the lyrics in the song are structured, it's just phenomenal. And the music, it really shows a sense of urgency in this part, along with the vocals, as eventually the boy gives in and promises to love her till the end of time, which of course in part 3, Praying for the End of Time, he soon comes to regret. Now this is the shortest part, and this is simply about the rest of the song seems to take place in the past and reflecting on, days then. But now, the boy and the girl, they both resent each other's presence, but neither of them want to go back on their vows, so they're praying for the end of time, so they can break their vows. I just love the way the lyrics are written. I think it's a very clever song, a very amusing song, and yeah, just musically also a really strong song, and have fantastic vocal performances, especially by Ellen Foley on this song. It's one of my favourite songs really of all time, certainly my top 50, and one of the greatest rides you will experience in rock music. But then sadly we come to the end of the album, and the last track is For Crying Out Loud, And this ends it on a quiet note compared to the roaring beginning of Bat Out of Hell, as Meat's voice is simply accompanied by Roy Bittan's piano. And Meat's voice has such a damn power on this song in particular. Okay, where was I? Yeah, this is a really fitting track to end the album, as the song builds, adding strings and drums, creating, it just has such a big, grand sound, operatic sound, I suppose, to it. And it really is the perfect end to, quite simply, a perfect album. This album is an undisputable classic, really. Every song is as catchy and interesting as the last, and they all could be the best track on most albums, but combined, form one of the greatest albums ever created. It really is a true example of a 10 out of 10. But the question is, can Bat Out of Hell 2 and Bat Out of Hell 3 get anywhere close to the heights of this? They were all released quite far apart. This was 77, Bat Out of Hell 2, what, was that in the 90s or something? Late 80s, 90s, somewhere around then. And then Bat Out of Hell 3 was not that long ago, really, in the last decade. So, do they? Well, find out soon, unless of course you already know, because you know the albums, and then, yeah. But anyway, you'll find out soon, my opinion on it, certainly. This has been the Album Man. Thanks for watching. Can't wait to subscribe. Hope you enjoyed this first part Bat Out of Hell week, and long live rock and roll.